Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It's Tuesday morning. I won't keep you long. In this video I want to reflect. I'm in a reflective mood after the search for Kiely Rodni over the last 2 weeks, and the fact that law enforcement missed her even though they searched Prosser Reservoir multiple times. And if anybody's been following my live streams over the last couple of days, I have made some reflections whilst just sitting there talking to you guys. And now I'm kind of rested and I've had a good night's sleep. I'm even more reflective. So, at the press conference yesterday, which is in my live, I streamed it live. The volume was quite low, so what I'm going to do is screen record the press conference from one of the news channels and try to improve the audio, and then I'll put that on my other channel, Michelle Walks, so you can listen to it, hopefully, with a little bit of better audio. But the audio quality of all the press conferences in the Kiely Rodni case has been really poor, so there may be only limited things I can do with it, but I'll do it. At the presser yesterday, law enforcement were, in my opinion, a little bit defensive at times. I'm glad that they answered a lot of questions. I'm glad that the journalists asked a lot of questions about them not finding Kiely, even though they searched Prosser Reservoir multiple times. They said they searched with sonar, and Adventures with Purpose went to Prosser Reservoir last because it had already been searched. And there Kiely was, just 55 feet from the shore in 14 feet of water. Now, one of the law enforcement guys, I've forgotten all their names, guys, but one of them said the water level was higher 2 weeks ago. And as I was listening to it and watching you guys in chat, you know, the chat lit up, because it's like, what's he trying to say? Is he trying to say Adventures with Purpose had an easier job because the water level's a few feet lower now? No, guys, it still would be shallow water, even if it was not 14 feet, even if it was 16 feet or 18 feet. It's still shallow water for, you know, an investigation. And yeah, the water could look murky. It looked clear enough when Adventures with Purpose were showing some footage of the underwater discovery of Kiely's vehicle. But law enforcement using sonar and still not finding her shocks me, because when it's reported by law enforcement during a search, and this is a search for anybody, if they've used things like drones, heat-seeking technology, the best search dogs available, and in water sonar, divers, you think that's thorough. And perhaps, you know, law enforcement in Kiely's case did really try, but didn't have the equipment, didn't have the quality of the equipment. It's the quality, I think, of the equipment that's important. And maybe, you know, small county teams in these cases, they don't have that really expensive equipment that experts like Adventures with Purpose do. You know, I don't know. I don't want to get into politics of American justice. I'm not in America. I don't have a right to talk about that. But I know in the UK, our police forces are very underfunded. Very underfunded. And I don't know what the situation is in America. But the fact is, they had technology that they used that clearly wasn't good enough to find Kiely. So it makes me reflect, it makes me wonder whether, you know, thinking about other searches that seem thorough, that they've done on more than one occasion, have also missed the obvious. They've just missed it, just missed the obvious. It makes me reflect on the Summer Wells case, which I've followed since day one. First became aware of Summer's case on the 16th of June, only a few hours after Summer went missing. And I followed it quietly, and I didn't make a video on Summer Wells case until about, my first video was about 2 weeks in. I was observing, listening, getting more and more confused. And my first video was, I think the title was something like, "We need to talk about Summer Wells." But since then, since those early days, Summer's case has gone crazy. There's been so many wild theories and speculations, and yeah, guys, I'm part of that. You know, over last, probably like August, September, October, I discussed all of those wild theories. My number one theory for the longest time was that Summer was sold. And one or more of her caregivers were involved in that sale. You know, Candice took Summer to Don and Don sold her, or Candice sold her. Someone came to pick her up from the hill and Candice sold her. And trafficking is a huge problem in East Tennessee. It is. What if none of these theories are correct? You see, in Kiely's case, I had faith in law enforcement. And at first, in the first few days of the case, my estimate, if you will, of what happened to Kiely, I was 50-50. She's just had a car wreck. She's gone into the water. It's just been, you know, an inexperienced driver who's drunk, who shouldn't have been behind a wheel, but she was. And then the other 50% was abduction, because that's what the narrative was. I don't care what law enforcement said yesterday at the presser. They absolutely said that it was highly likely that she'd been abducted. That's what they said. I know, I need to go back and find those quotes because they're important. Now, I made a video the other day saying, have the cops been misled by Kiely's friends? And I'll stand by that in a way. You know, they're working off the premise that she's been abducted because they can't find her nearby. Her phone pinged close to the water, kind of in a small vicinity of a wooded area close to the water, and then the water itself. It's quite a few metres radius of these things, but the fact that they didn't find her in the vicinity of that phone ping led me to think something bad has gone on, something really foul has gone on, and her phone's been destroyed and she's been taken away, and they won't find her close by because law enforcement did all those searches. So my estimate of 50-50, it went to about 10% that a car wreck was an answer. And then the other 45% was abduction by someone at the party, or, you know, an older person who has seen these teenagers, kind of easy pickings, if you will, like drunk teenagers in the middle of nowhere. Someone's joined that party and had a wander around and spied their chance. And then the other 45% was something bad happened at the party, like Kiely OD'd, or the Fight Club thing went wrong and their friends freaked out. That was my other 45%. And we still don't know, we won't know to the results of the autopsy, what the manner or cause of Kiely's death is. If it's obvious to the medical examiner that there's no foul play at all, and this is just put down to an accident where she drove herself unwittingly into Prosser Reservoir and drown there. So the manner of death would be accidental and the cause of death would be drowning. And it's really that simple. And these wild theories and accusations and stuff that's gone on in her case has all been unfounded. Because law enforcement missed her. Now, I'm not even blaming them if, they tried their best, but their equipment and the level of training that they have is insufficient to find somebody in a lake like that. Whereas Adventures with Purpose went there and found her in 35 minutes. The guys at Adventures with Purpose said that they put 2 boats in the lake with sonar equipment on at 10:40, and then by 11:15 a.m., 35 minutes later, they'd located the vehicle on their sonar. And all of these wild theories and many, many live streams, many, many videos has all been for nothing because Kiely was right there. And it makes me worry and reflect on Summer's case. Summer's case has gone on far longer than Kiely's. Thank God Adventures with Purpose went there and found her, else she could have never been found for for the next year. Or whenever, maybe that water level dropped a little more and someone on that reservoir saw her. That's the only way she would have been found, just by chance. But an easier find, you would argue, so close to the shore, such a shallow piece of water. Much more likely for someone to have found her accidentally, maybe in a few months' time, than it is Summer. Because the terrain around Summer's disappearance is really wooded, and some of that terrain is difficult to navigate. Depending on time of year, sometimes it's impossible to navigate certain areas. I've had faith in those searchers who've tried their best during the 13 days of that first search. And then they've come back on 2 occasions, November and February, to check out very specific locations. I argue it's the locations where the footprints were. And I've had faith that Summer's not there. And said, look, she must have been taken out of the area. Or at least out of the search area. If abduction, foul play is the thing that's happened to her. Or the parents hid her somewhere. What if she's just been missed? Whether she's been hidden, she's died, sadly, and that's been covered up. And she's somewhere close by, and the searchers have just missed her. Or applied Occam's razor, that the simplest explanation, the one with the least amount of permutations, is usually the right one. What if she did just wander a little way off the hill, got turned around, got lost, and she's out there somewhere, and nobody did anything bad to her? No one's responsible. I mean, yeah, Candice, she didn't have eyes on her, but that's the sum total of the issue. And all of the wild theories have just been completely unnecessary because Summer's been right there all along and she's just been missed. She's just wandered a little way off the hill. She got turned around and she's just got lost and they've missed her. It worries me so much that has happened. It really does. But I'm going to call it there because I've got a lot of thinking to do. Some re-evaluation to do. And I hope other creators join me in reflecting, those that have been following Summer's case. Join in reflecting that maybe she has been right there all along. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I've been Michelle, hope you're well. See you in the next video. Goodbye from Miss Tillington and Miss Cassie Springer. It's very muddy. I don't know why I've come this way. I'm walking through a ploughed field. when it's rained quite a lot in the last 24 hours. Wasn't the most sensible idea in the world, but hey ho. Anyway guys, hope you're well. I'll see you very soon. Bye.